What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. If you guys can't tell by the title and thumbnail already, I'm going to be giving you guys my breakdown analysis as to why I took this gold trade setup when I did to make myself $61,000 within a 24-hour time span. So with that being said, if you guys are brand new to the channel and would like to see more of this type of content, be sure to drop a like down below and also subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications so that way you guys get notified each and every single time that I do upload a video. With all that being said and done, I'm done with the rambling, all of that stuff. I'm going to show you guys on screen somewhere down there. Wait, I'm pointing the wrong way. Down there, I'm going to show you guys a live account. Obviously, the profits made, positions closed, all of that stuff, so that you guys can obviously see that this is going to be a live breakdown analysis on a trade that I personally took on my own personal account. And aside from that, let's get straight into it, right? So with that being said, let's go and start off with the daily time frame, and I'm just going to show you guys market structure as a whole on the overall trend within gold, and then dial down to the specifics right then and here within this general area, right? So identifying gold, let's just say on this time frame, you guys can see, or not the time frame, sorry, on this chart, you guys can see clear as day that gold is trending to the downside, right? And this is based off of the daily time frame. I like trading based off of what the bigger time frame is telling me and off of those major level structural zones, right? So starting off from all the way up here, notice how price created this high all the way up here, and soon after we broke beyond these lows. What did price do soon after that? We came down, created a new lower low, and then created a new lower high. Notice how price basically failed to come back up and break this high. So after that point, notice how price came all the way down here, created a new lower low. Soon after, retraced back at previous area of support to then act as a level of resistance for the continuation back down, right? I was actively looking for sells as soon as price got into this general area, and my overall target is all the way down to this 1700-ish zone. I'm going to go ahead and play a playback from when price was in this general area when I was looking for shorts, right? And then, yeah, just run the clip. I'm looking to get into the most optimal short entry as I possibly can, right? And with that said, I can very easily take my short entries where price is at right now, set my stops above this structural level right here, have about 100 pip stop, and target all the way down to my next structural level, which, like I mentioned, I want to overall target down to 1700. All right, so now that you guys saw the little flashback from the previous video, let me go ahead and show you guys my analysis and reasoning as to why I took this trade setup. I had multiple scaling entries as market flowed to the downside. Obviously, I was in a sell position, as you guys saw from the video that I showed you at the very beginning. I'm selling this market, right? Bearish market, selling, trend is your friend, all of that stuff. So starting off with the analysis on this daily time frame, notice how we had this daily print right here on a bearish engulfing candlestick. This isn't the initial move that I caught in terms of making my 60K, but I was shorting gold from this point on all the way down to here and caught a little bit of counter trend buys. But let's build up the confluences. So one of my biggest confluences as to why I took my sells when I did, where I did, was looking into this daily fib. Notice how we have a retracement all the way back into my 38% extension, followed by a solid break and retest point right here. Notice how we have a level of support, and then of support, a little bit of failed support. Obviously, we broke through, and notice how price came back up, tapped this area of weekly resistance, and also our 50 almost and our 38%. Notice how we closed below our 38% on a daily time frame, and after this close, we printed a daily bearish engulfing candlestick respecting my SMAs. So just off of the rip, we have three confluences as to why I took this trade setup. One of them being fibs, the next one being a closure below my structural level, a break and retest. Our SMAs crossed, followed by a bearish engulfing. Four confluences off of this daily structural level, right? What was the next thing that I was going to look for? I was going to look for retest of intraday trade levels. Notice how looking left on this daily time frame, you guys can see that we created a level of resistance and hesitation to basically close above this general area, right? Notice how looking left, we kind of got a little bit of sloppiness followed by an area of support. Notice how on this daily candlestick, we retested this general area and closed below this zone. And if you guys have been following me for a while, you guys know that I like trading from zone to zone in any market condition at all, as long as we are trending, right? I will never trade ranges. I will only trade trending markets from zone to zone. Now, identifying that we created a new lower high from this wick and we also created a new lower low from the previous days, this is whenever I was actively looking for any possible reasoning to take sells when and where I did, right? So scaling down into this 4-hour time frame, one of the biggest dead giveaways that I had was the fact that, let me just go ahead and get rid of this line right here because that's going to be another structural level that I want to draw out for you guys on the breakdown. These other minor lines are just me getting into scaling positions. But anyways, looking into where this 4-hour is, notice how we had a massive impulsive movement to the upside. Obviously, let's just say within a 30-minute time frame, this is going to be a bull market for any scalpers. Overall market is seller's market, right? But notice how we came back up, retested previous area of support, previous area of resistance, and we rejected very hard on a 4-hour time frame. Notice how not only that, but we closed down below my red SMA, and my red SMA is my 14, and we are also crossed down below to the bottom side. This is telling me that we have a lot more selling momentum than we do have buying momentum. So remember how I told you, based off of the weight of the bigger time frame, I'm identifying the confluences on the lower time, building up the confluences on the lower time frames to initiate my entry at the most optimal level. So scaling in onto this 4-hour time frame, notice how we have a little bit of hesitation from this point on. Notice how we have an area of resistance on this hammer followed by a basic fail enclosure for 8 hours above this general zone. So I'm going to draw a little black line right here, and notice how it lines up almost perfectly with this general area of minor resistance. Price came back up, retested this area of resistance, and then closed down below my intraday area of resistance, followed by week 8 4-hour candlesticks, right? So 8 hours right here, and then soon after we printed a 4-hour bearish engulfing candlestick, right? I obviously didn't get in at the bottom of the 4-hour bearish engulfing candlestick because I got in on the wick, right? Why and how did I get on the wick? Well, for one, if price were to get up into this general area of resistance in a seller's market, typically I'm going to want to be looking to sell, right? I had very passive stop loss when it came to this specific setup because I knew for a fact if price were to break up above this general minor area of resistance, we can come back up and retest this general area, which is going to be a little bit more significant right around my 1744 area. Notice how I have my stop loss placed above this wick because if for a fact price wants to push back up into this general zone, we're going to have a lot more buying momentum than we have selling momentum, and price is more than likely going to come back up and tap into the 1756 area. So one of the biggest things with me is I only like taking the highest probable setups, and I was willing to take this risk right here because this is a very high probability setup. Not only do we just have to violate and close above these general area or this general area of resistance, we also have to break above previous wick, and we also have to break above a structural area of resistance. Now, price can very easily create a stop hunt wick, obviously something like this where it can stop out all the sellers and then fall. I was anticipating that already. If price were to come back up, stop me out, and then close below this general area of resistance, just like it did right here, I'm simply going to just re-engage another position. I'm going to give my trade a second chance. Obviously, I didn't need to because of the fact that as soon as I got on right here, price rejected, right? So off the confluences, right now we have just about 5-6 confluences. We have rejections to the upside right here. We have the daily confluences, and also this minor area of resistance is getting respected. Now, my final confluence, which is going to be my 7th confluence, was the fact that we printed an evening star, and I mean, I'll say evening star quite yet because I did not see this bearish candlestick yet, but I got in on the retracement of it on the very open. Notice how we printed a spinning top at this area of resistance. As soon as I see a spinning top, it shows me a loss of momentum within the market, right? Notice how we have some sort of a spinning top right here, and we basically struggled to close down below. We had a little bit of buying pressure, and then price fell off. Notice how we have another spinning top right around this general area, and then soon after, price started to fall off. We have another spinning top right here after a short-term buy. Price started to sell off, right? We have a spinning top down here. Like I said, spinning tops give a lot of confluence as to basically taking a trade setup when you do at the point that you do. It's just a matter of which area is that specific candlestick printing at. Now, like I said, we printed at an area of minor resistance. I'm going to initiate my trade setup right then and there because we have this resistance to violate and this resistance. Soon after, Obviously, price created this bearish engulfing Maribozu candlestick, and we closed below this structural area of minor support. As soon as price did that, this is whenever I was looking for any retracement that I possibly could, right? I wanted price to leave this general area. This isn't a retest to me. This is very, very choppiness. I don't like seeing retests like this. The retest that I like to see is whenever price leaves that general area, comes back up just like this, and then falls. Now, this is a little bit of those kind of risky retests, but notice how this 1 hour time frame price basically came back up into this general area of minor support to then act as a level of resistance. We closed below. Very easily, a lot of people who don't quite understand to trade yet would have gotten in on this position for sells right then and here, right? Let's just scale in onto this lower 30-minute time frame, and let me show you guys, for example, right then and here. People can very easily see this as a retest right here and start to FOMO in on the trade setup and set their stops right above here. Price came back up, stopped out all these FOMO'd sellers, and then soon after, what did price do? It flipped bearish and closed back down below that general area. That was one of my scale-in positions. Obviously, I don't have this put on there, but I wasn't risking so much on my scale-in positions. I was only risking 0.25, 0.5%. My overall position size on this, I was risking just about 3% of my account size, right? So after price did that, obviously we had a continuation to the downside. I took another scale-in position right here as soon as I start to break these lows. And then soon after, price created this range. As soon as we started to create this range, I did the same exact thing as I did up here. I started to draw out all the confluences as to why I wanted to take a trade setup when I did. Let's go back into the bigger time frame, right? Notice on this 4 hour time frame, we closed down below this general area of support, this general area of support, and our SMAs are still crossing the downside. We are still respecting them as a whole, right? Not really anything you can see in terms of this 4 hour time frame to take a position where I did right here, which is my overall bigger scale in position rather than the little baby ones that I took up here. So scaling down into the lower time frames, this is where you like to draw out your zones again and start to build up the confluences, right? Notice how on this 1 hour time frame, we started to wedge to the downside right here, and we failed to break up above this general area of minor resistance and minor support. And what did price give you again? It gave you a spinning top. As soon as this spinning top printed, at my area of my SMAs, we respected, we closed below this wedge, and also below this general area of resistance, building up the confluences again. I literally just gave you guys 4 confluences off of this 1 hour time frame. That's whenever I initiated my second position, and my overall target is down to my 1714 area. And what did price do? It soon came all the way down to there, making me a 1 to 3 on this position and a 1 to 4 on this position. Obviously, I had a little bit of scale ins within this move to the downside, but all in all, as a whole, my overall risk on my initial position was just about 3%, and all my other scale in positions were just about 1/4%. This one right here was just about 0.5%, overall making obviously what I did, which was a $61,000, and this all correlated with what the bigger time frame was showing me. I dropped my zones from the bigger time frames, and notice how price literally just came down and absolutely violated this area. Notice how on this 4 hour candlestick, price came back up to previous area of support, retested it, and closed back down with massive wickets to the upside. This could very easily be a retest for somebody who wants to take a trade setup, set their stops right above this general area, and target all the way down to these potential lows all the way right here, or overall target right around 1700. This isn't the type of trade setup that I like to take just because of the fact that this isn't a 1 to 3 minimum, but that is that. Now, that is going to be the entire trade breakdown on gold. Every single trade setup that I personally take, I call out in my signal room. And let me just go ahead and show you guys if you guys want to be a part of this group. This right here is where I take my trade setup. It's literally only $60 a month. You guys are going to get all my trade ideas that I personally take when I do take them. You guys are going to get breakdown analysis as to why I took my trade setups when I did at the time that I did, and you guys are basically going to have the live mentorship analysis and signals as a whole. So if you guys want to develop your trading as a whole, I highly recommend you guys to hop in there. Definitely will help you level up your trading, help you with one-on-one calls, help you with coaching, anything as a whole to help you become as a profitable trader. But with that being said, hopefully this trade breakdown did make sense. And if it did, please be sure to, like I said, drop a like down below so that it motivates me to post a lot more videos like this one alone. Be sure to subscribe, turn on your post notifications, share this video with a friend who is trying to get into day trading so that way you guys can help them out. Like I said, very simple, break and retest, trending markets type of analysis. But Anyways, with that said, hopefully you guys have an amazing day, night, whatever time you guys are watching this, and I will see you guys in the next time. If you guys want to ask me any questions, be sure to hop in the Discord. Peace.